If you've been wanting to pay off debt but don't know where to start or need help creating a plan that's tailored to your budget, then this video is for you. Created this really cool spreadsheet that you see right here that will literally help you create a plan within minutes. But first, if you don't know me already, let me introduce myself. My name is Carolina. I'm from Capitalize with Gato, where I love to talk about money, travel, and just life updates. Now, I created this spreadsheet because I know tackling that could be overwhelming. Sometimes you just don't even know where to start, or sometimes you have ideas of where to start, but you just need help. So in this video, I'm going to walk you step by step on how to use this tracker so you can create your debt payoff plan within minutes, and it's very little effort. Let's begin. When you first open the spreadsheet, you'll notice that there are 4 tabs on the bottom: the Read First tab, the Debt Overview tab, the Debt Payoff tab, and the Debt Tracker tab. The first thing you're going to want to do is head to the Read First tab and read all the written instructions, which basically is what I'm going to show you today. It also has some links to more spreadsheets, tutorials, and also a copyright disclaimer. After you've read this, you're going to want to go to the Debt Overview tab. Here is where you're going to list all your debt information. You are only going to enter information on the spreadsheet on the white cells. You're not going to enter any information on the colored cells, shaded cells, because these cells will automatically populate information as you enter information on the white cells. Once here, the first thing you're going to do is select on the starting date. Just double click on this cell and then a calendar will pop up. Then you can change the arrow to select the date that you plan to start paying off your debt. So let's say we're going to do August 1st, 2024. If you're starting the next year, you can just continue clicking on the arrow until you get to your desired date. Then next thing you're going to do is select the currency. If you are with the US dollar signs, you don't have to do anything else. But if you do not use the US dollar sign, all you have to do is just delete the US dollar sign and paste in your currency. Once you paste in your currency, you'll see that it'll automatically update throughout the spreadsheet. But for now, we'll just go back and use the US dollar currency. Next, you're going to list all your debt information: debt name, balance, interest rate, minimum payment, and due date. You have an opportunity to list up to 15 different debts. However, for the sake of this video, we're only going to list 5 debts. So we're going to say, for example, you have the Chase Sapphire card. The balance is $1,200. The interest rate, you can find it on your statement, also known as the APR. We'll say it's 26. The minimum payment, you can say, we'll say it's 100. And then the due date, we'll say it's due the 12th. You're going to continue entering all the debt information again only on the white cells. The order of your debt does not matter. And after you're done entering all your information, you'll see the current balance, the total minimum monthly payment, the total interest paid, and the debt-free date, as well as how many months left for each loan to be paid off and the total interest for each loan individually. This is estimating the total interest paid and debt-free date, assuming you only make the minimum payments. Now, I also want to share with you a really cool feature that I incorporated in this debt spreadsheet to help you out. So now some credit cards will set a very low minimum payment, which might seem manageable at first. For example, let's say this first debt required now $20 minimum payment instead of the $100, right? So now you would automatically get an increased payment alert. And the reason you will get this is because if you are just paying the minimum, that low minimum that they're giving you because of the interest rate and balance, it means you're never going to pay off this debt. Now, credit card companies will not tell you this, but this debt tracker does. So the increased payment alert will automatically notify you when your current payment plan isn't enough to effectively reduce your debt. Now, let me show you how this works with the help of an amortization schedule. Let's take the example of debt 1, which was the initial loan of $1,200, interest rate of 26%, and the minimum payment, we had put $20. And so if you're only making the minimum payment of $20, at the end, when you pay that first month $20, you'll notice that the end balance has now actually increased instead of going down. And that's going to keep on happening because at this rate, you're not even covering the interest on this loan. Now, let's say instead of making the $20 minimum payment, we're only making the $26 minimum payment. So if you see here, we're only covering enough to cover the interest. And so the actual loan balance will never go down. And so that's why I set up the spreadsheet so you can get that increased payment alert, because I want to make sure that whatever minimum payment we're paying towards a loan, it is making a decrease in the initial balance. As I showed you, $26 here, you'll still see that increased payment. And so here's not the place where you're like, oh my gosh, wait, now I have to make sure I pay off that loan. I'm going to put $200 as the minimum payment. Here's not where we're doing our debt payoff plan. This is the tab we're going to do a payoff plan. Here, we're just trying to make sure that we get ourselves out of this red increased payment. And so $27 would be fine for you. But for right now, let's go back to our original example of $100. Now let's head off to the debt payoff tab. This is where the real magic happens. If you notice here, many of these shades are highlighted, meaning you don't need to enter a lot of information. This will automatically calculate information for you. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do here is select the debt payoff method. You could either choose snowball method or avalanche method. If you rather pay off your debt starting with the smallest balance, regardless of the interest rate, then you're going to select the snowball method. You will see that all the debts are rearranged for you, starting from the smallest balance to the biggest balance. Now, if you want to pay off your debt starting from the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate, then you just click on that and you will see all your debts rearranged from highest interest rate to lowest interest rate. And mathematically speaking, with this method, you typically save more money on your debt. So after picking your debt payoff method, now you're going to go down to the debt payoff simulator. Here is where you'll have a chance to enter one extra payment, which means if you have an extra one-time payment in the beginning to just help you kickstart your debt-free journey, here's where you can enter. Like, let's say you have $500 that you can send as you start your debt payoff journey. You can put it here, or $1,000, whichever it is, you can put it there. And if you don't have any, then that is completely fine as well. Then on the extra monthly payment, this is where you're going to add the additional amount you want and are able to, according to your budget, center your debt on top of the minimum monthly payment. So on top of these payments right here. So let's say based on your budget, you could afford to send an extra $200 towards your debt. Now our numbers have changed. So now this will be our new monthly payments. But now let's look at how this affects our debt payoff. So our total savings, by just paying $200 extra a month, we are saving over $600. Total months saved, 18 months. That's a year and a half. And let's take a look at our actual debt. So the Capital One Venture X, if we were paying the minimum payments of $35 a month, you would be done paying it in 22 months. But by paying $200 extra a month and incorporating the snowball method, now in 3 months it's gone, and the next debt in 7 months. And so you will see here that now your debt payoff is no longer April 2027. With this payoff plan, you will be debt free on September 2025. And we're not done yet. Now, if you scroll down, you will see your payment schedule. So you will see that the loans are laid out based on how you sorted it based on the debt payoff method. So for example, Capital One Venture, you will see this here, this starting with the smallest debt and so forth. And then below that, you will see the monthly payments for each debt. This serves as a visual so you know when each debt will be paid off. For example, you'll see Capital One will be paid off in those 3 months as you saw it here. Now let's see how these calculations come about. Just in case you were curious, on the debt payoff simulator, we entered that we were able to put a $200 extra monthly payment. And so $200 on top of the first minimum payment for the first debt we're tackling is which is the Capital One Venture X. Now the first payment is $235 instead of just a $35 payment. And so we're going to continue paying $235 on the first loan, but minimum payments on the rest. Now you will see here that on month 3, you can start to see how the rollover effect works. For example, you will see here that because the remaining balance for month 2 was only $149.54. Now plus interest, this is what you have to pay on month 3. But originally, you were able to put $235. So because now you only putting this, the difference between $235 minus $152.53 is around $82.47. That difference is added to the 50 here. So $50 plus that 82.47, which was the difference here, is now going towards the second debt that you're tackling. And so in month 4, the monthly payments for this loan also increases because now that you're done paying off your first debt, now you're paying the $235 plus that 50, which equals $285 and so forth. And that is how the rollover effect happens. Now, if this sounds confusing, don't worry. The tracker does all the calculations for you. I just figured it would be nice to explain how it works. And now in this debt tracker, I chose to include 2 different ways so you can track your debt payments. This is the easier, simpler way. So for example, if you already have automatic set payments or once you pay each debt for the month, you can just go ahead and well, once you see this, you can just put don't show for this one. You will see that everything gets crossed out and then the remaining balance gets updated as you pay month 2. You will see the same thing happen, and then the remaining balance will also update along with the charts. They will also start to update. Now, for the second method of how you can track your debt using the spreadsheet, let's head over to the debt tracker. Now, here you'll find the debt payoff tracker for each individual debt. So this is a place where you can manually track your monthly debt payments towards each debt and monitor your progress individually. And so you will see that the top has automatically populated information from you based on the previous tabs that you've entered information, such as the starting date, total balance. The current balance will be updated based on the information you put individually here. Everything else is ordered from whichever way you're choosing to pay off your debt. This is how it will show here. You will also have a visual of the pie chart so you can see your progress as well. You'll notice here that there's 2 white cells for each debt, and that's where you will enter the information. Then the remaining balance, you do not enter information here as it will automatically calculate that for you. Then you will also see that for each loan, the first payment is automatically populated for you as the cells are highlighted. And that should just give you a reminder to let you know how much your minimum payment is for the first month for each loan. Now, the way you'll enter your information is you'll click on the date cell. You will scroll to whichever date it is. Capital One is due on the 11th. So let's say we want to pay earlier, we'll pay on the 9th. And so we don't have to enter the first payment. But let's say for the next month, again, we're going to pay on the 9th. And now you enter your second monthly payment, and you will see that the balance is automatically updated for you. And now let's say for the third payment, you forget how much it is that you actually have to pay. So you could always go back to the debt payoff and get the amount here. Or let's say just life happens and you're no longer able to pay this. You can only pay $100. So you could enter that amount here and the remaining balance will adjust for you as well. So much for watching this video, guys. There you have it. If you have any questions, just let me know down in the comments below. If you're interested in purchasing the spreadsheet, I'll link it in the comment below. You already have the spreadsheet. I am so excited for you to start using it and create your debt payoff plan so you can tackle that debt and stay motivated. All right, guys, I'll see you on my next video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button.